Hi Cancer, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your love reading for mid-October to about mid-November. We're covering a lot in this reading, and this is specifically a love reading. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It could symbolize a relationship you have with friends, co-workers, your kids. However, oftentimes, and especially at this time when we're really dealing with that cardinal axis, which is why I'm trying to do my cardinal signs first, because I really feel like you guys are really going through it. My Libra, my Aries, my Capricorns, and my Cancers. Now, you are in my third of the cardinal signs. I started out with a big warm hoodie and I was freezing. And by the time your reading came, I was absolutely sweating. So the energy in your specific cards are is very Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde, kind of getting stuck in the mud. And there's a lot of heat in there, which means I think that Cancer is trying to really gain some traction in their life. I think that Cancer, with you know, all of those opposing heavy planets in your 7th house, it probably reached a breaking point, right? Like around the Aries full moon, there's maybe something that happened that was like, okay, this cannot go on like this anymore. Now, your first card out is the Wheel of Fortune. And I have a feeling, Cancer, that this is you kind of taking the wheel, taking a little bit more control of your life. We've had a lot of uncertainty. We had all those planets in your 7th house kind of in retrograde mode, causing a lot of inward reflection and kind of making it obvious in your life, like what needs to change, what needs to evolve, what needs to grow, and what isn't capable of it. This is a card of wanting to change your overall circumstances. So with that, it's very positive, and I think that you've made tremendous moves. You know, the Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana of change. And I think Cancers come into a little bit of power here, exuding the control that you can from the situation. Now, we can't control other people, right? But we can decide if it's something that we want in our lives or not. And that is where your control lies. It's not in the changing of the people. It's not in the forcing things to happen. It's kind of saying, I'm going to move in this direction. And if you want to come with me, you're welcome to. And if you don't, that is also fine. Now, this Wheel of Fortune card comes out above this Oracle card, which is that of balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. I feel a lot of maturity with this Wheel of Fortune and the Balance card. You know, like I said, Cancer, it's looking at your life and saying, okay, these pieces aren't quite fitting together. So obviously there needs to be some sort of change. There needs to be an adjustment in order for things to fit, or they simply have to fall away. Now, next to the Wheel of Fortune is the Child of Swords. And I'm not super convinced of the positivity of this card. Now, first of all, one of the first things that I saw when I pulled this for you, if you look, there's kind of like these swirly lines, and I feel like they're representing an aura or maybe a scent or something. And the first thing I thought of was like, you know, like in the comics, like Charlie Brown, like when they're trying to insinuate that something stinks, and so they, you know, and I think this represents messages that maybe aren't so trustworthy. So this Wheel of Fortune this area in your life that you're taking control of, that you're saying, I want to move in this direction. Are you going to come with me or not? And I think that the Child of Swords may have been the person's answer. Now, the Child of Swords is probably not the answer that you were expecting. Maybe you really thought that this person was going to make the changes. They were going to open their heart. They were going to choose you. They were going to choose to do the things in order to stay in Cancer's life, in order to be a part of your world. Now, the reason I don't like the way this looks is because under this card comes your oracle card, Unrequited Love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So this communication feels like a rejection, and it feels a little bit disappointing, to say the least. So you may have been kind of coming to terms or accepting this new situation, this new circumstance, this person that's not going to cooperate. They don't share your vision. Now, the thing is, next to this stinky card of something that I don't like, I don't like this energy, because I think if this person responded, my nose is very itchy, so this is fully channeled messages right now, guys. If this person said to you, I don't want to do that, I don't want that life, I don't want to share that with you, and those are not my feelings, and those are not my intentions, I'm not quite convinced that that's truly how they felt. Now, the Child of Swords is kind of an energy much like a child. If somebody's feelings are hurt in some way, instead of communicating clearly about their disappointment, you might just get the cold shoulder. You might just get somebody that looks at you and says, well, I didn't really want you anyways. I didn't really want this anyways. Now, there's probably a little bit of a sting in that communication, obviously. But the thing that's really tricky here, the thing that's really weird about that Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Cups, and that communication being in between, this is your energy. This is the current environment, that of the Two of Cups. This tells me a couple things. Maybe intuition is telling you there's more to that communication. Maybe it's kind of making you a little bit curious. Maybe you feel like you need to dig a little deeper. And I think the core of the issue, Cancer, is that your heart, your intentions, your softness, your ability to forgive, like it said, balance without judgment. I think your forgiving heart is holding space, holding hope that this can still happen. Now, with the Two of Cups in the center of the reading, there is no doubt that there is love here. This person did love you, even if they rejected you, even if they said some really awful things, even if they behaved in ways that didn't reflect their true intentions, nevertheless, there is love. Now, in a couple different ways, I think it's important to acknowledge this, because I think, Cancer, one, you need the closure. You need the closure to understand what this was about. And I think Cancer is all too willing to accept that somebody got scared, to accept that they just weren't ready, that they freaked out. But the importance with this Two of Cups is that the balance of your life is your self-respect and your dignity. And at the end of the day, even if there is love here, even if there is forgiveness, even if this love is unconditional, it's not unconditional to yourself. You're still putting yourself in a situation of getting hurt. Now, whether it's not judging other people for their mistakes, giving somebody a second chance. I see that a lot with the Two of Cups. But are you honoring yourself? And is this person really willing to change? Is this person to really, are they able to step up to this Two of Cups? Just because there is love here does not mean that it has to work out, that it's destined to work out. It doesn't mean that you should accept less than you deserve just because this person loves you, even though they don't know how to love themselves. That is a message that I'm getting very strongly, and I think that that is the true meaning of that unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. When you are with somebody who's on a little bit of a lower vibrational frequency than you, they might have all the potential in the world, Cancer, but if they don't love themselves, they cannot love another person. And that is what causes the unrequited love. See, there's something about you. There's something about your kindness, your openness, your ability to love and nurture people through hard times that kind of makes you the flame. And sometimes those flames just catch a bunch of moths. Sitting above this Two of Cups is the Guardian of Wands. The heat is definitely up in the situation, okay? Now, it may not be playing out above the surface. You know, when I see this Two of Cups and I'm honed in on this holding space, there's kind of this idea that although you're holding space for this to come back, for this to get renewed, for this person to be back in your life, maybe there's an opportunity, you're holding on hope that something will change. Wheel of Fortune. I think Cancer's cooking up the next change. But you are coming from this Two of Cups place, and this person, your situation, is that of fire. It is that of chemistry. So, one, I have to again question this unrequited love, because I don't think that's a situation at all. I think you're dealing with a person who's in a lot of fear-based behavior. Okay, I didn't behave right. I didn't invest correctly. I didn't make the best decisions. Sometimes these energies can turn into very narcissistic behavior. And I see this Child of Swords and this unrequited love as maybe manipulation. Now, this Guardian of Wands, maybe you're dealing with a fire sign. Maybe you're dealing with a Leo, Sag, or Aries. Maybe you're dealing with somebody that really seems like they want to move things along quickly. You know, if this is somebody who's saying, let's get back together. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you the world. I'm going to give you everything that you asked for. Guardian of Wands is really good at making promises. He's really good at sensing what you want to hear. But he's not so great at the follow through. And when I see this flame of desire, sometimes symbolizing to me ego, greed, the need to control a situation, I just don't like the way it connects to your kind heart. They don't like that you are willing to offer your love, your body, your soul, everything that you have to somebody, and they want to meet you at essentially a Knight of Wands energy. The Knight of Wands is that in and out of your life. I want this, I don't want this. They're kind of those people that re-emerge every so many months and throw all of your balance off, all of the progress that you've made. The Challenge card is that of the Six of Wands. I don't like this energy either. Now, for sure, you might be dealing with a Leo here. This is definitely Leo energy. This could represent you. This could represent your person. However, the energy that I am picking up with this Six of Wands is a need to save face. It's a very egoic energy that I'm picking up on now. And underneath the Six of Wands is a second oracle card which says, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Now, Cancer, let's not forget that you are of the moon. You are of the sensing in the darkness. You have a tremendous intuition. And sometimes that intuition delivers messages that maybe you don't want to hear. Maybe you don't want to accept. Because the idea of this working out, the idea of this coming back together means all the love you poured into it from the get-go wasn't for nothing. It exists for a reason. That love exists for a reason. Now, there's a very normal human behavior when you feel something and you want to create it and you want to make it real and you want to make it yours. The Six of Wands. I want victory. I want to win. I want this person. I want this to work out. There's a lot of desire here. And it's just this desire that might cause you to not fully open your eyes. Pay attention to the red flags. See, you are coming out in this open heart, emotional love place, and this person is coming from lust and greed and the need to conquer, and I just don't like this energy. Now, I am very much sensing that this is something from the past, and that is the energy that we are in. Mercury is retrograde. Mars is retrograde. It's bringing back old wounds from the past. It's showing you things that have held you back for a long time, even though you maybe you weren't aware. Maybe you weren't aware that how the kindness of your heart and your ability to forgive can actually be the things that hold you back in life. How could that be? You're a Cancer. You're meant to be here to love and nurture others. Some people karmically don't deserve it. Cancer, that's as honest and as brutal as I can get with you. Your need to want to save things, to make things real, might be your worst detriment this month, because this could be the crucial moment. Two of Cups, there's a decision at play here. If you're facing a decision where you're going to get back together with someone, even though your intuition is telling you it's not for your greatest good, they're not going to be able to give you the things that you need. Something there stinks. It's not right. Now, the fact that they come out as a Child of Swords with this unrequited love tells me there's a lot of childish tendencies there. And Cancer, do you want to raise somebody? Do you want to have to do all of this work? Six of Wands can be the energy of, oh, but I want to save this person. I want to show them there's another way. But maybe that's not part of their karmic path, Cancer. Maybe their lesson doesn't get fully learned until you fully let go. Now, here's why I'm so adamant on this. Your outcome is that of the Eight of Swords. And this is feeling trapped. And it's feeling isolated. I don't like the way this reading's going because, to be honest with you, Cancer, I can smell a narcissist from 100 miles away, and I'm smelling one now. And I think that if you allow this person to creep back into your life, creep back into your mind, maybe they're not even talking to you right now. Yet something they said in that Child of Swords, very immature, hurtful communication, that's still sort of haunting you. And it might be taking away from your strength. It might be taking away from your confidence level. It might be making you look at things like, maybe I really am not worthy of love. Maybe I'm really not deserving of love. And let me tell you, Spirit would never say that to you. You would never say that to you. Your higher being would never say that to you. And if there's another human in your life that tells you that you don't deserve to be loved, to be valued, to be invested in, they don't have your best intentions. They're not in this for you. They're not in this for growth. They're there for the taking. And there also seems to be an element where they somewhat need that piece of you, Cancer. Your energy, your positivity, your warmth. You see in this card, this lizard is moving closer and closer to the warmth. And I think this person wants to get back into your warmth. They want to get back into your good graces. But trust me when I say this is very self-serving energy. Their intentions and their follow-through aren't there. And something tells me, the Wheel of Fortune, that this probably isn't your first trip around the wheel with this person. This probably isn't your first breakup. This probably isn't your first ending, your first time getting back together. I get the feeling that Cancer probably knows where this is going. Yet there's this incredible attraction to saving somebody. But the truth is, Cancer, now is the time to save yourself, because the outcome, if you choose to entertain this, if you choose to lower your standards to this kind of behavior, this person's intentions are to isolate you. They will leave you out in the cold again. They will abandon you. They will leave you. They will leave you feeling trapped. They will leave you feeling confused. The Eight of Swords is a card of being traumatized by a narcissist to me. It's just that feeling of frustration, like nobody cares about how you feel. Nobody cares about your needs. And every time you make an attempt to make the things that you need a priority, they probably make you feel crazy, make you feel trapped. It's like you keep getting pulled back into feeling sorry for them. You know, this is definitely tones of manipulation. And the thing is, the fact that this ended to begin with, the fact that you came to terms with the fact that they left, was your ultimate blessing. Card number 22, blessed. See, the thing is, Cancer, The second people walk out of your life, you probably feel really strong and really determined and really open for love. And I just want to recreate this new loving atmosphere in my life. And that's beautiful. Your ability to rebound and open up is beautiful. Now, I don't know if it's all that convincing. You know, you could say all that you want about how you've invested time in healing and you really just want love in your life, but you need to question how much. Because I think the answer is that you need to stay away from this person until they no longer exude that power over you. Till you could hit that block button, block that contact, block that communication, and walk away from it. That's your biggest blessing, is getting unstuck from this situation. And it's ending a cycle of this. If you have been repeatedly dealing with narcissistic behavior from people, now is a time, pay attention to the red flags. Those red flags are a blessing. Those warning signs, your intuition screaming at you. You know, when you're in a relationship and everything seems fine on the surface, this seems like a perfectly fine person, and yet there's like this weird vibe that you have, like something isn't right. There could be signs that you pick up along the way, but then you justify these things because it's easier to justify other people's bad behavior than to admit that some people just suck, right? But there's power in admitting that some people just suck. And there's power in knowing you deserve so much better. Cancer, you can have that passion with somebody else. You could have that where you feel really good about yourself, and those people won't turn around in hard times and tear you down. You know, one of the red flags about a narcissist is when things don't go their way, they start to make you feel like shit. They start to make you feel like it was your mistake, your fault. You did this wrong. You're creating these problems. You're creating these stress. It's all in your head. And you start to really feel, right? You start to really feel like something's not right. But narcissists attack quickly, and they could sense a weakness in you, and your heart, Cancer, your ability to have empathy. You know, the thing about a narcissist is you could almost smell out the void, right? You could sense it in them. There's an emptiness, there's a longing, and then there's Cancer, the empathic. But I really want to heal you. I really want to help you. I really want you to discover the softer side of yourself. You know, maybe you feel like you're helping them come to terms with some old hurts and wounds. The thing is, the narcissist will use that to their advantage. They sense out those weaknesses, they sense out those pure intentions, and they feed off of it. But they don't ever give back. You will know, because at the end of the day, there will be nothing more than bare minimum that they have contributed to the situation. If you are hurting, they probably don't have any empathy for you. If you are telling them all the ways in which you feel disappointed or betrayed or hurt, they probably don't care. It is in those times that it is very easy for these people to avoid the emotional stuff and to just walk away. And it could be so cold. It could be so calculating. They could say things like, oh, I never liked you anyways. I was never even really attracted to you. And as an empath, these are probably things that can leave some really deep scars. So you have to know better. You have to know where these things are coming from. And it's a really good time to tune into that intuition. It will serve you well. Now, if you're feeding your ego, your need to save somebody, your need to forgive somebody, your need to give your love to somebody else, that's where shit's going to go really awry, right? When you're willing to sacrifice and you're willing to take one more hit for the team, you're not going to take one more hit for the team, and you're never going to hurt this person. If you're attempting to make this person feel something, you are simply wasting your time. So I think ultimately at the end of the day, Cancer, ending this was your blessing. Letting this go is your blessing. And I want to point out in this card, and I really love this card, there's like an embryonic kind of feel to it. You getting back in your shell. Cancer, don't forget that you have this intuition for a reason. Cancers live in the most nutritious place in the ocean, but it is the roughest. It is the hardest to live in. And so there's a lot of having to protect yourself in order for you to attain those levels of nourishment. And I think this is a blessing that Cancer can sense this now. They know the signs. Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter now moving direct in your 7th house. This is the traction. The traction is the leaving. The traction is not entertaining this one more time. The traction is realizing that you're worth more. Your time is worth more. Your feelings are worth more. When you start to protect yourself, the universe is going to stop throwing these things your way. They're just going to bounce right off of you. Like you could just like deflect this so easily. And that's what you have to do. You keep deflecting the shit until the real stuff shows up. And I just don't see Cancer falling for any of the same old bullshit that they've gotten for maybe their entire lifetime. I know that was a little rough, Cancer, and I'm sorry. Like I said, these cardinal signs, my cardinal signs, you guys are really going through a lot. But the things that you're going through are ultimately leading towards transformation of how you do things and how you go about things. And ultimately, it's for your greatest good. It's so you can attain the love that you really, truly desire and deserve. Close this cycle out. All right, guys. I will be back in November for your November readings. And until then, I really do hope it's a beautiful month. Please remember to love yourself first, Cancer. I love you so much. Hang in there. Bye.